All righty. Been live. I am waiting for my co-host. Waiting. Here goes live streaming. All right, good. Waiting for my co-host, Mr. Byron Jones, and he's having some internet problems out there in Lancaster. I've had a few myself, so we're gonna get going. The show must go on. The Jersey Boys Sportscast. I am solo today. Where are my boys? Where are my boys? All righty. So I wanted to welcome to the Jersey Boys Sportscast live out of Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Lancaster, Pennsylvania, when he calls in and they have internet service. My name is Victor Rocho, your host, with my co-host Byron Jones, who should be calling in pretty soon. And we may have some other guests coming in. Please remember to subscribe to us on all your channels to the Sportscast. We are on, let me get to my pieces here. We are on Spotify, on iTunes, on Twitter. Please go to YouTube, go to the Sportscast on YouTube and hit notifications. You could also go to Victor Rocho. I have my own podcast to talk about other pieces as well. We are live right now on YouTube and we are restreaming. So we'd love to hear you comment, call in and so forth. We're a sports show talking about the NFC East and all around the football. So we're going to get started pretty soon. And so we got some good topics. We're going to talk about the Giants, a mini camp. We're going to talk we got that Barkley's been used a lot in the receiver position, which is pretty interesting. Will the Giants offensive line show up from the inside and out? Wink Martindale defense wastes no time turning up the pressure on Giants offense. So that's pretty good. Giants, Kadarius Jones already and Galladay won't be on the field until training camp. We're talking about the mock draft and top QBs. Roman Cornell finally retires. He's a good football player, a good football coach. Deshaun Watson issues. I'm sure Byron's going to be happy about the Boston Celtics. I'm not, because I want the Warriors. And maybe we get to the Broncos' new ownership. So we got a lot to talk about today. So pretty much let's get into what we're seeing that's taking place with the Giants today. Let me get my restream. Let my restream see if we got some comments coming in. All right. So Saquon Barkley is being used more in the receiver position. I think that's powerful because we need him to get the ball. All right, we got Byron in the waiting room. I was a little tough going a little bit by myself. I had to get used to you there, Byron. All right, so I think he's here. I don't know if he can hear us. I'm not sure if we ever see you, but we started. And we're getting into the Giants right away. So their mini camp has started the 7th, 8th, and 9th. Byron, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, great. We just can't. And we can see you. Hey, you got internet back.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Let me tell you, that was a little hard going solo because usually I like going over the topics you bring up, and I had to start getting into just different pieces. So I gave our listeners kind of the rundown of what we're going to talk about. And I was just on the first topic. So we did the intro. This is my co-host, Byron Jones. I told you he'd show up. We had a little bit of internet issues. Got to feed the geese so they can get the internet running.
Probably didn't pay the bill or something.
Yeah, well, you know what's the bad part? When the internet goes down, like it happens during the day and it's work. So sometimes I got to use my MiFi. And if I go past that, they charge like $10 every minute. And then my own internet company doesn't not $10 every minute, but $10 a package. And you would think that Xfinity, they would refund you, people working from home today. I mean, what are you doing? But nope, they're not even nice. So anyway, so we were talking about minicamp already started 7th, 8th, and 9th. No? So
Yep.
today, okay.
They canceled Dable, since he's such a great guy, he canceled today's practice. Because he felt, that they picked up stuff and they're heading in the right direction. That he just canceled it and let them leave for an early vacation.
Really?
Yes.
What do you think? How do players feel about that when that happens?
When I was playing, I loved it. I was like, hey, no day, no practice. Up, time to go get into some trouble somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, really.
That is funny. So they did like it. What about like when you were, I mean, let's say you're a guy that you're not sure if you're going to make the team, right? Do you still like that? Because you lose an extra day of being able to just demonstrate that.
Put it this way, whatever you did learn the first 2 days, or if you're like a rookie, you were in rookie camp, and whatever you did learn during the 9-10 days of that, you ain't gonna never learn it. The best thing for you to do is probably stay in the neighborhood in Jersey and work out at the facility, and don't go home with your boys hanging out and get all kind of bad habits. Just stay around the area and work on your craft, because I'm sure it's other guys that are around there too. They're gonna want to work with you.
And learn the playbook.
Yes, learn the playbook. Well, now it's on a tablet. Now you just it's all high tech now.
It's still.
It wasn't like a big old site completed that we had.
Yes, it is. It's just in digital form.
I'd rather have digital than lug around that big old suitcase.
That's true, but I mean, the content's content, right? Some of it may even got it more complex because they could put more stuff on it, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. So we got here. Let me get into. Okay, I got the ninth. So I already gave a rundown of what we're going to go over. So they gave the day off. So that's interesting because you had 7th, 8th, and 9th. I don't know how it's there, but it's like crazy here.
We had a monsoon last night. I got a swimming pool in my backyard. I didn't even know I had one. I mean, it's a lot of water. It rained like crazy last night.
We get it every afternoon. So like it's nice, sunshine, blue skies. If you don't do what you got to do till about 2, 3 o'clock, boom. I got a bunch of mulch I got to put outside. I haven't put.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so you've been talking about Barkley. I was talking about that a little bit earlier. Barkley's being used as a receiver, right? I like that.
Yeah, well, remember his rookie year, he caught 91. He had 91 passes. He almost had 1,000 yards in what you call receiving yards as well. He's a great receiver. So you figure, okay, you're a defensive back. You got a guy that's 6 foot, 230 pounds, is catching the ball, on the outside. He's got a full head of steam. Are you gonna want to tackle this guy?
The only advantage you do have when you're as a defensive back when you play against a guy like that is because I got to understand what you're saying then, right? When you're saying they're using him as a receiver, right? I'm thinking like a receiver lining up as a receiver.
Yes,
right?
the way the new offense that they're running, that's what he's going to be doing.
So as a defensive back, that doesn't bother me at all. At all.
Sure. 230-pound running back. Here he comes.
I don't give a crap. The guy who bothers me is a 6'4" tight end. That even when he lines up as a receiver is a challenge. But the running back, no. When it bothers me is when he's doing a wheel route. You know what I mean? And now he's coming out full steam now, and he knows how to run, and he's gonna hit you. Yes. That's a different type of coverage. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I can bump him off now it's me against him. I don't care who you are. I don't care how big you are. I'm going to play you. Even a big tight end, I'm going to play you. The problem with the big tight end, he's just got everything size, it's harder. But if he's coming out of the backfield purposely for the pass, that scares a defensive back.
Because they're going to have, like you said, they're going to, wheel routes, screen passes, angle routes. And he's going to be doing all this stuff where they want him in space.
When he's at a receiver, and that's scary to a D-back. When he's lined up as a receiver, it makes no difference who it is. It really does.
He's a second player picked in the draft, man. He's very, very talented.
Yeah, but not as a receiver. In other words, his routes are going to be limited. He's not going to be as good as a receiver. It's easier to cover a running back that's lined up as a receiver than a receiver, right? Because a receiver who runs good routes, it's not easy to cover.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the difference. That's all I'm saying. Right?
But he's going to be able to get a full head of steam.
That's when he's not lined up as a receiver. Right. That's just okay. Let's even forget about that. Let's take it to another level, right? Especially we're both defensive guys. Whenever the defensive back is tackling, just pure tackling a running back, it's a problem.
Yeah, he shouldn't be that far downfield.
He's got too deep already.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? And he's getting too deep, and D-backs are making tackles on a running back. That's a problem.
A little bit problem.
Right? So that's one. Two, so that's problem one, right? That's already a problem, but that's problem one, level one. Let's go categories like hurricanes, 5, right? Category 3, or even more, category 2, 3, maybe a 2 if he lines up as a receiver, because if he gets it, he's going to be hard to bring down, but you could cover him a little bit better, I think, and that may be even a level 1, and him breaking into the backfield level 2. A level 3 or maybe 5 is when he's doing a screen or a wheel route, and he's already got 5 yards of running room going.
And here he comes.
That's a problem, right? Because now it's a defensive back that's purely, you got to hit him. You got to hit, and he's not looking, most of them, they're not going to run out of bounds.
No.
He's looking to run you over, right? Because now he's got to run through the big guys like you. Then he's got to go through the second real line of the big guys that are super athletic, right? And then he gets to us, he's happy.
He's very happy.
Very happy.
He's made it that far, not touched. He's very happy.
Unless you're Steve Atwater, right? And you're that big. But outside of that, and even then, it's not easy, right? Because he's got so those are the different levels. So I'm good. I think we're on the same page now. Yeah. But I like the fact, now let's get back to the reality of it. Him being used as a receiver, what I like about it is I need him with the ball. I need him to have touches, right? And
a lot of touches.
And because our line isn't good, it also is giving him more protection. May give him some more injury-free time.
Right.
Because if he starts getting injured by getting tackled by a linebacker that's covering him as a receiver, or a D-back as a receiver, he's just injured. He's done. I mean, if you're getting injured by that, it's over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but most of the time, if he's got a full, and you see the side of this guy's legs, so where are they going to hit him most of the time once he gets a full head of steam? They're not going to hit him up top.
No.
They're going to hit him in his legs, which are probably the weakest part of his knee. He had a knee history, the ankle problem. So
yeah, but they're gonna yeah, but he's not getting hit by the same quantity and size, right? So like when you run the ball, you're getting hit by bigger guys, and you're getting hit by a lot of guys.
Yes.
Okay.
It also doesn't help that when he gets the ball, when he's trying to run the ball, they're hitting him 3 yards in the backfield. So that doesn't help either.
Right. So then he doesn't even got chance for momentum, because at least it's not an equal, like when you're running, like when I played, when I was a punt returner and a kick returner, I was an offensive guy. When you're running the ball and you got room and you hit, it's a lot better than you just get the ball and you get hit.
It happened many times with him.
Because the only collision came at you. You didn't collide there, right? Yep. But I'm just saying to you that I think for me, if you're thinking that he's going to get hit, where they're going to hit him, you're right. They're going to go for his legs and his knees, but it's still open field, and he's real dangerous in open field.
Get him in space. That's all you want to do.
In space, I think he's more protected. With that line running through and running against guys like you and linebackers, he's getting hit by 5 or 6 guys a time.
On every play.
Every play. So speaking of that, I want to tell you something you're going to enjoy. Charles Barkley, for whatever reason, I didn't like him when he played. I did think he was great, but I just didn't like him. I guess that was where we grew up. We weren't used to that kind of athlete, right? We were like, everything had to be very, different, right? Now you start expanding and you see. I love him as a commentator. So yes. I hear him talking the other day, and he said that, I don't know what happened. To give the short story, he goes, I played football at high school. I played for one day. That was it. Oh, the argument was how tough the players are. Like, that they were saying with Draymond, that a lot of guys are saying, if that was in our day, they would have knocked them out, or they would have done something, that they were really rough. And you're going to appreciate this because you said the same thing. And it's true about that. They were tougher. But Draymond also had a good comment, or someone had a good comment, is all the guys that are saying that weren't the guys that were doing the hitting. You know what I mean?
That is true.
You know, it's easy for them to say that, but they weren't the Lambeers. They weren't the Rasheed Wallaces. They weren't the Dennis. You know, they weren't the bad guys. They weren't the Oakleys. You never hear Oakley. You know, if he's on TV, he'll say it. But most of the time, the guys who are saying it aren't the guys who were doing the hitting.
Yeah.
So Barkley was like, he goes, and you know, again, I go back to Barkley. Why, you know, as much as he thinks he loves basketball and everything, but he says football is his first love. But he's only played it one day, and I'll tell you why. And why he gives so much respect to my boy Brady is because every time he won the Super Bowl, that was equivalent to a Game 7 in the finals. There was no recourse. You couldn't have a bad game. Draymond Green, Michael, anybody, and Michael never had a bad game, but none of those guys could have a bad game, right? But back to his football story, he goes, I paid one day. He goes, one day? He goes, what do you mean? He goes, well, remember, I was pretty big. They put me on the line. I go, let me tell you something. Basketball players got athletics, but you want to know who's tough? Football players. Those guys will not, they get hit. And he goes, and then I want to tell you, offensive linemen and defensive linemen are the toughest. They get hit every play. They don't get a break. There's no time. They get hit every play. And I was a big guy. I was getting hit and hit and hit. And then the coach goes to me, he goes, hey, hey, tomorrow, we'll see you tomorrow. He goes, what do you mean tomorrow? We got practice again tomorrow? And I'm going to get hit again like that? Oh, no, I'm done. He said, quit. He said, I'm not doing that. Marcus is a tough dude.
He's a big guy. He was a little guy.
No, but he was saying that. He goes, you know, basketball, your mindset isn't to hit, right? Your mindset is to score, to be free. You're not trying to get hit. That's why they changed, you know, the way it changed. Even though when they were the bad boys, you know, you only did it X amount of time. In football, it's
every play.
Game you're getting hit.
Every play.
He goes, he goes, boxers, I give them credit. They get hit every single time. I go, You're a runner, you don't get hit. It doesn't mean that you're not a good athlete, but when you do other sports, you play golf. Golf's the greatest sport. You ain't getting hit. And so I thought you'd appreciate that because he mentioned offensive and defensive linemen. He goes, those guys are tough. He goes,
yes, we are.
They are mean and tough. He goes, basketball players, they ain't as tough as they think they are. You know, I don't care what they think, they're just not. They don't want to get hit. They don't like to get hit.
Well, there's a couple of basketball players that probably have been good, you know, football players, but yeah, true. And there was a lot of college basketball players that went into the NFL. Yeah, Gates, Tony Gonzalez.
They drafted a lot of those guys. Don't get me wrong, right? They drafted a lot of those guys. Look at Antonio
Gates.
Well, Charlie Ward went from Heisman Trophy winner to basketball. I mean, right? I mean, so you could flip it on either side. But I thought it was really good that the way the Barkley had said it and how he always mentions that the difference of winning Super Bowls is totally, you know, different than winning the NBA championships because you only got one game. You can't say even in the playoffs, you don't have a chance to have a bad game. Zero, none at all. But anyhow, I just wanted to share that way. I thought you enjoyed. I told Santiago that the other day. He goes, I played one day and I will never play again. I didn't get up to go to work to get beat up.
Hey, that's part of the game.
That's part of the game. He goes, those guys are tough, man. They're tough. So Saquon Barkley, I think, is awesome. Him outside, I think that'll help the receivers and help Daniel Jones.
What? Something nice about Daniel Jones?
I hope Daniel Jones will give us the room. They got to worry about it, right? I'd like to see. We got to run the ball, though. I mean, you know, but I would mind using the other guys running the ball and getting Barkley, letting him be a threat as a receiver, right? And hopefully it opened it up.
Yeah, but the guy that they signed from Matt Breida, I think his name is, the backup running back, and there was some time where they put both of them out there. You know, they had, you know, Breida line up, you know, at running back position, and him, you know, line up, you know, wherever, and a lot of motions they're doing because they're getting them where they want to get him one-on-one with a linebacker and stuff. So, you know, as long as, you know, he stays healthy, they can block.
No back offense.
Yeah, they do all that stuff. They're going to let Daniel Jones let it fly. They're telling him to, you know, be aggressive, but not stupid. Be aggressive.
Well, two things. One, I think what I personally, I'm happy to hear that. One, two, not only that it'll help Daniel Jones be aggressive, but one, the league is coming to that, right? I mean, think about it. There's a lot of times there's no back offense,
Yep.
right? I mean,
5 receivers.
still
No
got to
back.
run. Don't get me wrong, but they'll start off with a no back offense, and then they'll run it. They'll figure it out. But I think that it also it helps because in the NFC, Dallas is going to put up points. I mean,
Philadelphia's going to put up points.
They're going to put up points. Dallas is. Philadelphia, they got to prove it. Right? It's not like they've been high powered ever, right? Even when
they loaded up though.
They could, yeah. So could the Giants. We put up 40 points. I mean, lost.
Yeah, then the other team scores 50. So that's not good.
Exactly. But we still put up points. All right, but I like that. Can the Giants' offensive line shore up from inside out? So
which we talked about 1,000 times. Because what is
asking, can they? And I thought
can they shore it up by what they did? As far as signing a new center, Feliciano is a new center. The left guard, right guard. They got the Quincy, the guy from Indianapolis Colts, and whoever the other. It might be Shane Lemieux. The guy that hurt his knee last year. As long a quarterback doesn't want pressure in his face. You saw what happened with Tom Brady, your guy. If you get pressure in his face, it throws him off his game. Even with Patrick Mahomes, same thing happened in the Super Bowl. You get pressure in their face. It throws them off their game. The Giants have to shore up, the middle of the line first, and then, which it appears they have, but then, have the two young tackles, Neal from Alabama, and you have Andrew Thomas, we'll talk about in a few minutes that he's a little hurt. He had ankle surgery. So we'll see. But hopefully they have shored it up enough where they can run the ball and Saquon Barkley is not getting hit 2 and 3 yards in the backfield.
Well, I was just reading something as you were talking about that. Andrew Thomas, he was on the field for 800 offensive snaps last year, and he allowed only 2 sacks. He is 8.2 pass block grade, ranked 12th among all tackles. That's pretty good.
Yep.
And they said he's doing better this year.
Well, he had ankle surgery. He hasn't practiced. He's one we're going to talk about. The red jersey guy, he hasn't practiced because he had surgery in the offseason on his ankle.
And it's talking about Dable is a superb offensive mind, put together a really strong coaching staff. He'll get the most out of his left tackle. Between Thomas and Evan O'Neal, the Giants have a promising pair of young offensive tackles to shore up the ends of the offensive line. The other players mentioned, no. But I just wanted to say, speaking of the line, that's what they're saying right now.
From the inside out, like I always say.
Well, that's what you said, and looks like they've been building that. So I'm excited about that. So hey, look, that's the number one. If we get sure that Ian, look, at the end of the day, we also need defense, right? I was always on defense, even when we were putting up points. It's defense, right? I didn't care if we put up, as long as we put up 21 points, we can win games. But put up 21 points. Right. And Wink Martindale wastes no time turning up pressure on the Giants offense.
Yes, the first day of practice, because he's the big guy, but as far as like blitzing like crazy when he was with Baltimore Ravens, and he had people lined up where they normally shouldn't be. Was it Jordan Love was lined up by the linebacker, instant get ready to blitz. He was blitzing from the side. Cornerback, he threw everything but the kitchen sink at these guys. And they didn't have to do a good job blocking it at all because he said he's going to turn up the heat. He said, one of the things he said, I'm going to blitz from the bus. As soon as we step off the bus, I'm sending the house. And he did that.
The next LT.
He was hurt too. Kayvon.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. He has a red jersey too.
He's got, we're gonna get to that. He's got. Oh, did you put it there? I didn't see it there, but hey, look, he first of all, he's got to turn it. Why hesitate? You need your defense to shore up anyways, and it's not your problem that the offense isn't shored up fast enough. It takes offense longer than defense, right? Because there's way more plays, there's way more things. You could be a little bit more creative on defense than you can on offense, right? You got to be disciplined. I mean, people confuse it, right, between being aggressive and disciplined. As a defensive player, if you're going to make a mistake, you're allowed to make a aggressive one, right?
Yep.
But don't make too many mistakes, right? Because if you make an aggressive, you were a defensive lineman, you're a defensive end, you made an aggressive mistake and they ran a reverse and you got beat, that's a problem.
Yeah, it was some issues.
It was a problem.
Yeah, it was a problem.
A big problem. You didn't cover that outside is a problem. And even though you were aggressive, you did everything, it becomes a problem, right? But so you got to have something, you got to have discipline. At the same time, you got some freedoms to make a move, right? Offense takes a little bit longer, but more pieces have to work.
Well, it also didn't help that, with the offensive line, they didn't have, like the two, they didn't have Thomas and, Shane Lemieux. So they kind of had like a mosh posh of people, trying to block this and figure it out. It takes, all this stuff is like with the offensive line. It looks like, if you ever watch, it looks like they're coordinated the way, when they're blocking people, and they'll sort of hand the guy off to this guy, or, the center will come over and help over here, or the guard will help outside. It looks like it's kind of like a ballet for fat guys. All of them, are working. And it's true that they're working in sync. To do their thing. Huh?
Think about a good pulling guard.
Yeah.
His timing, everyone's timing is up, but he can't trip over the other guys. He can't step on their feet, and he's got to get to where he's got to get to fast.
Yep.
Right.
But it's all synchronized, like a fat guy ballet. That's what it looks like.
A fat guy ballet. Well, we'll see what happens, but let's stay. I want to stay focused. Yes, it's hard on the offense, but for me, I'm more focused on the fact that he is, no offense to the offense, that's funny, but he's being aggressive off the bat. He mentally wanted them walking out of OTAs that we're going to blitz, being aggressive, crazy horses, dog defense. And I think we like that as defensive players, right?
But it's also helping the fact that they got Andrew. Dory Jackson is probably their only really experienced corner, and now they have these rookie corners, second-year guys or third-year guys. They're going to have to man up. They're going to be out there on an island by themselves when they're blitzing. And I'm sure if you blow coverage with a man on man, and next there goes the receiver running 60 yards down the field. So they're going to learn on the fly real quick. Mess around with this guy. They definitely don't know how to play man. With the great blitzes that they're going to have coming.
Yeah, but the beauty is when our receivers aren't hurt, right? Number one. Number two, but most of the time they're not hurt at practice, hopefully. But at least we're practicing against pretty good receivers, right? So
the ones that are not hurt.
The ones that are not hurt. So if they're going to have time to get ready to be on an island by themselves, you better be you're on an island by yourselves against some decent talent, right?
Yes.
They're going to see it. I mean, they're going to see it in practice. If they can't do it, we can't do it, right? That's what made, like, I used to love watching. I loved when Deion Sanders was on both San Francisco and Dallas. Why? He had to cover Jerry Rice and Michael Irvin. You don't think that they made them each other better?
Yeah, he took away the whole one side of the field, one guy.
No, but I'm saying that Michael Irvin was covering.
Oh yeah. Without a doubt. You're going against the best.
They both got better, right? Yep. Because when you go into the game, you ain't running a pass against Deion, and when Deion's in the game, I'm not covering Michael Irvin or Jerry Rice. Right? It doesn't mean these guys weren't good either, but these guys were super Hall of Famers.
Yeah, but for all those guys, they made all of them look at them. They're all Hall of Famers. They all made each other better. All of them.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. We are playing against better talent. So hopefully with them doing this, offensive blitzing, it'll make our D-backs better as long as these receivers stay healthy. Right?
Yeah.
When we went through the list, they were a good group of receivers. It's just they're not on the field. They're no good on. They're good on.
They're all broke up. Yeah, fragile. We have to bring out the word. They're fragile.
Yeah, they're from Jersey. They're Italian. Hey, the Giants, Kadarius Toney, man. This guy, you're making me not like this guy.
Me, it's not my fault that he's fragile.
Then Galloway too, man.
Both of them.
Won't be on field until training camp. I mean, what are they hurt with?
Well, Galladay probably just trying to save him, from himself. That he was all hurt last year from tripping over paper clips, sliding down a slide, or getting out of his car, or whatever issues that he had last year. You remember, he's a $72 million man with no touchdown. Andrew Thomas had more touchdowns than he did last year. And then Kadarius Toney had micro fracture, like surgery, on his knee. That's not good for a receiver at all. Because now you figure he's going to be dealing with his whole career, both kind of sort of bone on bone. If they're already taking little chips out, with his knee, he's always going to have problems with that. And he's a guy that depends on his, being shifty. Yeah, being shifty, moving in and out, the cuts real quick. And he's already dealing with this stuff. I was like, it's not good.
Santiago and I went to see the game yesterday, depressing as it was. Exciting, but depressing. And when I was there, I was waiting for Santiago. We were waiting for the table, and I wanted the pregame wasn't on. There's a lot of TVs and where we were, and it was a bunch of commercials. So I'm assuming that was the team. So I'm like looking around this restaurant. This is Florida, so I couldn't tell who was really there for the game or it was just back because it was whatever. So I see a guy with a Philadelphia hat on. So I walk up to him and say, "Excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt." And it was the guy. He's an Eagle fan from Virginia. He was visiting his brother who lives in Florida. So it was two brothers. Check this out. So the guy was a Philadelphia Eagle fan. The other guy, his brother's a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Oh boy!
And you know me, I'm not quiet. Right. So I took like 10 minutes of their time. I tried to get them to subscribe to our show. I mean, they must have thought like, oh, who's this guy, whatever. And then Santiago came over. I go, and I said, look, you should come on our show. I told him about you. I says, we talk about this. We talk about the NFC. He goes, and we hate the Cowboys. He was a true Philly fan. He's like, Philly's going to take it. And I was like, and then I told him about the poll about, when we did a poll in the NFC East about, if you ask every team who's the team they hate the most, if you're not a Cowboy, all the other teams hate the Cowboys the most. Every fan.
Yeah.
So if you're a Giant fan, who's your number one team you hate the most in the NFC? Cowboys. If you're a Washington fan, what's the number one team you hate in the NFC East? Cowboys. If you are a Philadelphia fan, what's the number one team you hated? And they agreed. They go, no. And the other guy was like, defending his Cowboys, and I was just saying, look, you guys are putting good things, good players on the field, but you just can't get out of one game. I mean, that's
McCarthy.
I think the Philadelphia will do well, but it was funny. Out of this packed place, I happened to run into two NFC true fans, right, that knew the game. I was trying to get them to come on, but hey,
maybe they will. Who knows?
Well, yeah, if they remember, right? But I was trying, he goes, oh, my phone, I just got a new phone. It's out. It got no apps. I'm like, okay. He thought I was trying to do something with his phone. You never know. But anyway, I thought it was funny. We played those. I said, hey, come on in. Santiago goes, you do a good job promoting. I go, dude, I try to get anyone I run into. I go, hey, can I see your phone? I get their money. I download the podcast. I subscribe. I hit notifications every time I get a phone. Just so you know. Okay. So I thought it was pretty cool seeing happen to be at his home place running these two guys. All right, we'll go to the mock draft, and you had sent out. I'll come back. I'll come back that's for next year.
Walking Wounded first. Walking Wounded.
I don't have that. I only have
You don't have the red jersey guys?
Yeah, I said you had something red jersey. All right, let me pull up the sheet then. Because I got two computers going on.
No, there you go.
Can't see this thing. Why is it so small?
It's not that small. It's huge. Not that huge.
Small on me. All right, so I put all this here. Okay, here you go.
There you go. All of the Walking Wounded right now. Look how many receivers that are. 4.
So it goes back to what I said. How do the D-backs get any better if they're not playing against the best players?
Yeah. all four of you. Figure Sherlin Stepper, he's coming back from Achilles injury. Galladay, his whole body is broke down. Tony, his knee. Colin Johnson's knee. Cam Brown, yeah. But the big key on there is Andrew Thomas, with his ankle. Is he going to be ready for training camp?
That's crazy. All right, so then let's keep going. We got the mock draft. For our listeners, we're looking at the mock draft. By the way, you should come to our YouTube channel, and I'm going to be sending these to. Do you also send this to Santiago? No. I'll send this to Santiago so he can put it. They can download. They want to pick out their fantasy pieces. 2003 mock draft. Is that here? So we got right here the mock draft.
Yeah, that's the top 4 quarterbacks. But my number 1 overall guy is Will Anderson Jr. from Alabama.
How can you be Will Anderson Jr. from Alabama as a quarterback when you got Bryce?
No, I'm just saying as far as the number 1 player overall.
Oh, he's a lineman, no?
No, come on, man. He's an outside linebacker. That's the one that that's the one that Justin said is the second coming probably of Derek Thomas.
Really?
You have to when you watch an Alabama game, you have to watch this guy. This guy is that good, and he hustles and he plays every single down. He is that good.
Wow. All right, so William Anderson, you better start looking for him in your draft next year. You got Bryce Young, I don't know, CJ Stroud, but Ohio
CJ Stroud is the quarterback from Ohio State. And just think about this. Name one Ohio State quarterback that's succeeded in the NFL.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, but he's the number 1 ranked, quarterback right now. There's a toss-up between him or Bryce Young. CJ Stroud is another one of the long list of Ohio State quarterbacks that have come through, and not one of them. Maybe Justin Fields, maybe this year. I hope so, but for the most part, not a one of them. None of them.
And Bryce Young is tiny too, isn't he?
For some reason, he's talented, and he's another. And even like the other guy, Stroud, all those guys. How many receivers that they had? Like Stroud, Ohio State, they had like 3 guys at number 1 picks. Like receiver they have that came back.
Bryce Young, he's a small guy. No, he's not.
He's small. He's small. He's gonna put it this way: when he goes to the combine and they measure him and see exactly how big he is, people are gonna be for shock how small. Because looking at him on TV, he looks small.
He looks small on TV. That's my
point. He looks small on TV.
Yeah.
So
I don't know any guys. Kentucky once in a while has a pretty decent quarterback. Where's Richardson from?
From Florida.
From University of Florida?
Yes.
Yeah. They also don't produce too many good quarterbacks.
Tim Tebow. Come on. You had that. Come on, Tebow.
Oh, that's funny. So those are the quarterbacks of the year. So there's
one more thing, just so people Will Levis is the one that they're mocking to the Giants next year. Just so you know ahead of time.
But why? I don't want a guy from Duke, Kentucky, or anyone. Remember that real big guy from Kentucky that was awesome, the quarterback?
The hefty lefty.
The hefty lefty. Remember?
Yeah. Jared Lorenzen. That's his name. He died. He passed away a couple years ago. Yeah.
Accident or just?
I don't remember. I know he passed away like a couple of years ago, I think.
And he's young. He's a lot young. He's younger than me.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So I don't even tell me that. I don't want to know. I can't even imagine if that's the quarterbacks for next year. That means the juice of the quarterbacks has already exhausted for a little while because there were heavy quarterbacks coming out.
Well, it's a bunch more they're mocking probably about 6 or 7 are probably going to go in, the first round. I just put the 4, but it's a couple other ones too.
I don't even like those 4. I don't even like those 4.
Well, the one kid, Levis from Kentucky, the receiver that we have, Robinson, that's who he was throwing to last year.
Oh, well.
And he's going to be our surprise player for the Giants this year. Wandell Robinson, wide receiver, Kentucky.
A shout out to Romeo Cornell. I liked him. He's retiring.
After 50 years in NFL or coaching.
Wow. That must be something, man. Let me tell you.
He was 74 years old.
He's 74?
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. 5 Super Bowl rings?
5 rings. With the 2 with the Giants and the 3 with New England. But then he went away to, he was a head coach of the Browns, Chiefs, and the Texans. And, his head coaching record it wasn't too good. But, shout out to him lasting as long as he did, and now he can go home and sit home and enjoy time with his family.
Yeah. But, at 74, when you retire, usually that's tough.
You can go home and chill, go fishing.
Man, I think guys are built that way. They don't want to stop. It's too hard. You miss that kind of, a lot of work goes into coaching.
Oh yeah. That level, it's an all year round job.
It's a lot of work and you miss that. It's a pain in the ass. There's argument, but you miss it. Because you're strategizing, and I missed it. And I was just, a high school coach, when we had regular film, right? Watch a breakdown film. Like that was one of my favorite times, right? Breaking down film, the camaraderie of the coaches, figuring out what the game plan was, and so forth. But I could see him missing it, and I could see him wanting to spend time with his family too. But it also gets to the point where, what else does he want to do? Does he want to hang around, be an assistant coach? But I like.
He was like a special advisor for the Texas. He wasn't actually coaching. He was like a special advisor title he had. So
got it. All right, Deshaun Watson. I don't get it though. Only a couple more people came out. It's not like he already had something in 21 something. Why is this?
Yeah, 66 allegate 66 in 17 months.
Oh, I thought it was.
No, it was more. It was more. 66.
66 different people?
Yes, in 17 months. But the jacked up thing about it is the Texans had supplied the hotel rooms and they made the therapists sign NDAs, as far as whatever they would, going on, which I don't know for sure, but that's what's been put out there that, they did have their hand in the stuff. So 66, whatever he was doing in 17 months is a lot.
Okay, 2 things. One, something's got to be wrong. Something's got to be wrong with a person to aggressively do something like they're allegedly saying he's doing 66 times to 66 different people. I mean, you got mentally something's wrong.
And that's the ones you know of. You don't know how many more could be out there.
But just you're right. But let's just stick with what we know. 66 is in 17 months. I mean, what is that? 60.
About 4 months.
3, 4. That's like 4 a month.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's 1 week.
That's a lot.
That's 1 week.
That's a lot.
Yeah. What would make 2 things, right? What would make the FBI, the feds get out of it? Is it that they just said, you know what, this guy is such how I'm just theorizing, right? I was telling Santiago, is it that they figure, this guy is got so many problems that he's gonna get hurt civil? Why bother him federal? Why waste our cash and our money, go after him, and maybe give him a shot to get out of this in the civil piece? Let me just drop it. Like, why would federal drop it?
Don't have a clue.
Why would they get in it?
Because, happening across state lines, different states that,
Your 66 is serial.
Oh, they're spread out all over the
place. That's serial. That's like, you got a problem. Yeah. Right. And and what are the allegations they're saying? Do we know that we keep it somewhat PG?
that he was seeking certain pleasures during the
So
massage thing.
was it solicitation? Was it forcing? Was he
No, just asking if they do certain things, allegedly.
okay? And I'm assuming of the 66, most of them would probably say no.
Most of them probably said yes. Some of them, you never know. But why? Okay, this is what I can't get in my head. I'm a multi-million-dollar athlete, and if I need a masseuse, massage therapist, to get my body right, as far as I done worked out and do what I need to do, to succeed in the field. Why wouldn't I just get one? And I'm going to pay this one person, $1 million, or because I can afford it, $1 million or $2 million or whatever. Hey, I need you. We're playing in Los Angeles. I need you in Los Angeles. We're playing in New York. I need you in and you got one person that's following you around all over the place,
like a trainer.
Yeah, a trainer. They have people that have trainers. Why couldn't he just do this?
He has Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I don't know the guy, whatever, but he has some kind of issues going on where he has these many people, these many women are doing, or he's asking to do it. If he is, I don't know. I'm not there. But when you have these many people, it's not like they said it's like there's smoke there. When you see smoke, no. This is a full blaze right now.
It's almost like it went away and then it came out again.
Yeah, because he had two more pop out, with soon, and then you turn around, you got 66, the other ones over the last 17 months. Who does that? And
it's a mental problem. I mean, that's a problem. I mean, but allegations. Let's see. I'm just trying to understand. So I'm just still understanding, Ryan. If someone's asking you something, I mean,
you say no. If it's if they're asking me to do certain things or whatever, and you ask,
a guy doesn't ask a girl something, when you're younger, like whether you're an athlete or not. I mean,
yeah, but these are people that he's getting off where the internet or wherever he's getting these people from to come here and do it. So why you don't know these people? You could have that one time where he solicited off of the Instagram or whatever he's doing. They come here and they're a cop. That could happen. They could have set him up easily. But why is he doing this, man? It's crazy. I have a $230 million contract, so I'm gonna jeopardize my whole career because I want to do whatever I'm doing out there. It's something going on in his head that he keeps doing it, or he doesn't have somebody to sit there and say, "Yo, man, I don't think this is a good idea." He doesn't have anybody around him, in his inner circle to say that to him.
I still only see 24. I don't know where you're getting to 66.
Oh, it's 66. Trust me, you'll find it. It's over the last couple of days. It's there. But he just, I don't know. He has most of these guys have like an inner circle. And they should, his inner circle should be like, "Yo, man, that ain't right." Are you still looking for
it? Okay, so what they're saying is that he had a massage with a massage therapist, and then he started doing things with himself, and she said to stop, and then he said it's okay. And she continued aggressively. Asked me, "Where do you want me to put it?" At this point, Capiche shot could not speak. She froze watching it. Oh, so he just did
PG.
Yeah. I'm just saying he did. If that's allegedly they're saying.
Allegedly, just remember that word, alleged.
Yeah. So it wasn't just asking. It was like he was doing acts. It was like it's like.
And that's not right. These are still they're women, and he should be doing.
Like it was like worse than a flasher.
Yes, that's pretty bad. That's why law enforcement. That's why law enforcement is involved, because it's bad.
Yeah, it's flashing, right? I mean, at its worst level.
And just think, if the average person, if you're walking down the street, Main Street, USA, and you decide to, to take your clothes off, you're going to jail. You're going to go to jail for getting naked in the middle of the street.
Yeah, you could go. Also, you go to jail if you go to the bathroom in the street, you get a ticket for the bathroom in the street. I mean,
so what's the difference?
It's worse because you're in for him, and you're in a confined area. You're scared of what he could do to you from a reputation. It's a power play sometimes.
Yes.
And it's also, you're doing this stuff that's like, hey, what are you doing? Like, don't do that. That's disgusting in front of me. Oh my God.
If he's done these alleged things, I think he should be finished. Yeah. Like done. Like you're not playing in that, not 6 games, not 8. I mean, finish. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Anyhow, let me get off of that. All right, let's get into your. We're rounded out the show. That's just his Browns are just why?
The Browns being the Browns, they made a mistake.
Dude, that's a costly mistake. I mean, how much was guaranteed? Wasn't he
$230 million?
Guaranteed.
Yeah, but the first year contract was only for $1 million because they figured kind of that he was going to be suspended, so they were on the only hook for $1 million. So we'll see how that's going to play out. But
let's say he's suspended for the whole year, right? And then they say you're done. Do they still have to pay him the guarantee?
I don't know. Probably not. But they have moral clauses. Yeah, they'll probably get out of it as far as paying him. The moral clause in the NFL contracts. So he might be done. Great talent, but that's bad. That's bad, man. You don't do that to women. No. Not a good idea.
And he had to, if it's true, he had to do that before the NFL. You don't just go to the NFL.
Yeah, he probably goes back to, his days. I'm not, Clemson. Who knows? The only person that knows is him and whoever else he did, whatever allegedly did. You just don't start doing this.
And that many times.
Yes.
Right. And to that many women. Right.
Yes.
And at what point? Oh my God. All right. Golden State Warriors at Boston. I'm sure you're happy. By the way, why are you sending us the wrong team dunking the ball? I started laughing. Like,
I just said that was not Santiago sent that.
Then Cleveland dunking or something.
Not the same thing. Yeah, whatever, man.
The same thing.
Same thing.
So what do you think about that? I mean,
I told you Boston's going to win. The Warriors' legs are old. They're old. They're smaller. They're playing these young guys, and they're getting bullied around. That Draymond Green stuff. What did he have last night? He had 2 points and fouled out.
In 3 games, he's done nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, in two of the 3 games, he's done nothing.
Because he can't bully the Boston Celtics because they're just as big, even bigger, and younger.
Bro, let me tell you something. That guy, that young kid, Williams, if he wasn't injured, it would have been worse. Because that guy is, look, I told Santiago, I go, look, you notice we make all our runs, Warriors make all their runs when Williams is out, because then you could drive. And sure enough, these guys drove, he blocked like 4, like legitimate, like nice blocks. I mean, they were over the rim. It was still going up. I mean, they're blocking out of lights out. And then
and they're playing defense.
They're playing defense. That kid, by the way, that kid Devin White, as much as I've been saying, man, wow, where'd he come from? He came out of nowhere. I found out that's not really true. They gave up a first-round draft pick to pick him. I mean, he had to have some time. You don't give up a first-round draft pick to pick a player.
On the NFL, not NFL, but the NBA, they give away number 1 picks like it's Skittles.
For real?
They do it all the time. Oh yeah, we're going to trade such and such for the 2029 first-round pick. Yeah, they go way in the future.
No, they gave up something to get him, and he's proven he's coming through. That kid's done good. I think Jaylen Brown is just incredible. The people that are bothering me the most, and I have a feeling that it could be one or the 2 things, right? So, what's his name? Jordan. Poole, right?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if it's if because now he's coming off the bench because Clay came in and Clay's been having a bad series except for last night,
Right.
and that kept him in the game to some degree, right? And then he just went silent again. But if you notice, he really went off when he was not in with all the starters either. So it's almost like sometimes I remember one player saying, "You're better off." Sometimes I like playing with the second team
Right.
because now I get more choice of shots than I
Get my
would
shots.
if I'm on the first team and I got to surrender it to some one of the other two or three guys, right? Not that Clay does, but so I was just wondering if it's better, Clay, maybe come off the bench, make a switch. You're in the playoffs. Sorry, Steph came off the bench, right? And I mean, that's pretty ballsy for a coach, number one. Number two, and that was pretty honorable for a player like him. And then even Draymond says, "Hey, man, Steph cannot be coming off the bench," but
Yeah.
he was rocking off the bench. But now he's rocking in play. But Clay may need to come off the bench just to get that run again with the other guys, because maybe Poole's having a hard time because Poole's not running with that first team again, right? Because Poole was becoming a superstar. He was becoming
But their whole
Poole is in
Draymond Green is the whole key to them winning the series. He's got to do more than what he's been doing, like a lot more, because he has not showed up at all.
He hasn't showed up, and the thing is, we expect him. He's won 3 championships and so forth. But in my opinion, he could still not have to worry about what he scores. But I don't think Wiggins, who is incredible when he inside and was incredible from the outside, Poole, who was incredible from the outside and hit a killer shot from the outside, they got to take it to the hole. They got to take it inside, take those jump shots. They leave Clay, let Clay and let the Splash Brothers, like they used to, let them do the damage from the outside. Those two guys have to take it inside.
Yeah, but you got those two big boys for Boston waiting, Holford and the other guy waiting for him coming across there.
Horford's not that big, but he's playing great ball. That Williams guy is incredible, right? And the young kid Williams, I think his name is, and then the other guy is Williams too, right? There's 2 Williams on that team. But those guys cannot shoot from the outside. They should not be shooting from the outside. They're not hitting it. They're not there. A guy like Clay, I don't care. You know what I mean? Because he'll take it in, he'll take it out, but he'll get hot. But Wiggins and Poole should not shoot from the outside. They're shooting just bad threes, and they got to take it inside. That we had one game where Warriors were barely at the line. Like the Celtics had like 20 something fouls. Like the difference in the lead were foul shots.
Yeah, but well, look at the league the way it is now. Curry created it where as soon as he steps across, a half court line, he's launching shots. Now everybody does it. The day of people, getting in the paint and doing the dirty work, inside the paint right there.
Butler
Days are over.
does it. Butler does it. Butler, Jimmy Butler's one.
All right, one guy out of the whole league. Yep, one that really goes up in there. Most of these guys, as soon as they come across the line, let me launch this 40-footer.
Which is why Butler shouldn't have shot that 3. Right? He should have shot the 3. But I gotta give him credit. He balled out. But man, Boston, and I even said it, as much as I want Miami in the finals, the way they were playing, if the 3 games they won, only 1 game I thought they played good. The rest was terrible. And they would have got eaten up by the Warriors. I just thought Boston plays good. Remember when I told you about how they passed the ball around? Do you see how many times they moved that ball?
Well, both of them are doing that, though.
Even Tatum moves the ball.
Both of them are doing that as far as good ball.
That's why I like all. I mean, well, so does the Heat. So does some of the other teams. I like that. It's that one-on-one basketball's changed. But Boston's done a really, really good job of that. And they're hitting some key shots. And, but it's amazing how the third quarter, Golden State still owns them. They just can't give them that lead in the first quarter.
Boston Celtics in 6.
Nah, I think the Warriors go in tomorrow. Friday. They'll win Friday. I'm sticking with the Warriors. I ain't counting that. Now that Clay's getting hot, Clay gets hot again. This and that. I think Draymond has to play Draymond, but we need Wiggins and we need Poole to play because
Boston is 6.
Well, I was telling Santiago, you got Clay, you got Wiggins, you got Poole, you got those 3 guys on the court. You can't tell me you can't manufacture offense. Something's wrong. And yeah, and look, the big guy, and look, the big guys are coming back. And
Which ones?
Well, what do you mean, which ones?
Well, yeah, the 2 for Boston, but the rest of the league,
Well, look, yeah, you got Joel Embiid, you got.
Nah, he don't. He likes to shoot 3-pointers.
But I'm talking about from a defensive perspective, right?
Oh, he's average defensive guy.
You got him. You got this young kid, right? You got Giannis, right?
No.
You got Giannis. You got Bam. You got what's his name? God. I mean, this they're getting to the point where they're now realize it's funny how the league changed, right? From bringing it inside the big man now to outside the big men are shooting to now that everybody's shooting from the outside, that the gaps are more open so you could take it inside. And now they're coming and finding big guys because you need shot blockers. I mean, once that big guy's in there, man, look at all the blocks they got.
Yeah, but look at Embiid, man. I get a chance to see him right here all the time. He'll drive through the middle and do whatever, hook whatever he does. Next you know, he's laying on the floor, rolling around, holding his head like somebody shot him. And, a true big guy is not going to do that.
He did good this year. The guy played with a broken face, bro. I mean, that's got to be hard.
Yeah, then as soon as they touch
I'm giving him props this year.
Yeah, as soon as they touch his face, man, he's rolling around the ground. Then he cried, and then he's complaining.
I'm giving Butler props this year. I think Jaylen Brown is playing lights out. Curry is a bona fide superstar.
No.
Come on, bro. He's playing. He needs help. He's doing his part.
No. Top 10 player ever all time? No.
I didn't say top 10. I said
I'm just throwing it out there because people believe that. They think he's a top 10 player all time.
He's one of the best shooters of all time.
No, there was other. His dad was a better shooter than Delcor Curry. His father could shoot.
I'm sure he could shoot, but nobody's better than Curry.
What do you think he got him from? He got it from his dad.
I'm sure he did, but he's still Curry and Clay are one of the best 2 shooters in that league he's ever had.
Oh man, Jerry West, great shooter. Man, I can go on and on. Man. The Big O, come on, there's a bunch of guys that are great shooters.
Not like these guys, bro. They weren't putting up those kind of points back then.
Walt Frazier.
Those guys are great. But look, Bernard King.
Yeah, he
was what he screamed was 61 points, didn't he?
Yeah. So yeah.
He was a baller, man. So, but I'm just saying, from pure shooting, I mean, Curry changed the game. He made it way wider.
Oh, man. His father was a better shooter, man. I'm gonna stick with that.
Crazy, man. They ain't no better shooter than this.
Look! I'm telling you, look his dad up, man. His dad can shoot.
As sports, this life develops. You know how you learn from experience, and there's better ways of doing things, right, and everything. It's pretty cool watching the game and seeing. I never thought when I played to take a side step. You always took a front step. You never took a side step, right? To shoot, you'd either beat a guy one-on-one, go and shoot him, or get beat or blocked or whatever. But now they're taking that one step to the side, right? I don't remember ever doing that, or even being taught that.
No.
You know what I mean? You didn't take a side step jump shot. You took a jump shot. They're taking sidestep jump shots.
Oh, I'm gonna be an old head. Larry Rudolph used to do it because I saw him do it plenty of times. He did that a lot.
A sidestep shoot?
Yep.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I remember him playing lights out. There's no doubt. I never seen. I don't remember.
Sidestep, back step, front step. He did it all.
Yeah, Larry was a player, man. But that team that year, the year after when we won the counties, dude, I think we were scoring 40 points on defense, though.
But that team and the Perth Amboy team, I'm going to show my age now. The Perth Amboy team, they had the 60s and the 70s, those guys, the Blake Taylors.
And Jay, right? Was this?
He was in the 60s, but the Blake Taylor, what's his name? Oh man, I can't think of Butchie McLean and Kyle Eaton. And man, them guys D'd you up. They D'd you up the whole court.
I didn't realize Kyle Eaton was that great of a basketball player.
Yes, yeah. Them guys played defense. I mean, they was on you the whole length. 40 minutes. Like what's his name? Richardson, Nolan Richardson back in the day. Arkansas. He came from Tulsa. 40 minutes of hell.
I gotta give a shout out to the boys: Larry Rudolph, Mo Bryant, Dale Swindell, Castro. What was his name?
Castor Redondo.
Boo Boo was on that team. Roberto Mendez, my friend, was on that team. Who else was on that team?
I'm going. Blake Taylor.
Hold on, Freddie Faniel.
Freddie
Faniel. Let's see on that 20 and the undefeated. They were undefeated county champs. Undefeated team. They lost against Neptune. Neptune just beat them.
Yeah, I was at the game.
Shout out to all those guys. But let me tell you something. Their defense was crazy. We scored so many points on defense. It was disgusting.
Well, put it this way. I'm gonna tell you right now. That team would not have beat one of the 70s, early 70s Perth Amboy team that were winning the county all the time. It would not have beat them.
And you're probably right? We don't know, but that team back then, they were big too.
I know. That's why they wouldn't have beat them.
Our center, Castor, was 6'4".
Yeah. Those guys weren't 6'4".
Neptune's guards were 6'6".
I know how big they were. I saw them up close to person.
That whole team went to Louisville. Remember? That whole team went to Louisville. So their guards were 6'6". Mo was 5'9". But our center was 6'4". That was it. So those guys were big. Blake Taylor was a professional NBA player, right?
That's his brother, Brian.
But all the Taylors were good.
All of them were good. But I'm telling you right now, the 70s team that Blake and
they
Chad
were bigger. They were also bigger.
And okay. All right. I'm telling you, they would have beat them.
And I'm
the
saying
81 team.
They were a bigger team.
Yes. And they would have won.
Because they were just a bigger team.
Size didn't have nothing to do. They were fast.
And basketball had size. Size and speed is even worse.
No, they D'd you up the whole court.
Yeah. I think they give them a game. Let me tell you, those Dale, Bo, man, I'm shouting out to them. I watched them. I was there. It was my time.
I was there with the 70s team. And I played with a couple of guys.
You didn't watch them.
Oh, I went to the games all the time when I was a little guy.
Went to the games, but
I went to the games and watched them. And I'm telling you right now.
What was your record your senior year? Because those guys were playing with you.
Yeah, we were runner-up county. We lost to Colonia in overtime.
Oh yeah, that's right. We hated Colonia.
Yeah, no, don't remind me.
Yeah, we hated Colonia.
Yeah, don't remind me.
We lost it in the counties to them.
Yeah, we were runner-ups that year. We lost in the county that year, and then they won the next year.
Undefeated.
Yeah, they were undefeated. Yes,
undefeated. They won.
They still wouldn't have beat them 70 teams, man. I'm telling you right now. Perth Amboy dominated.
Yeah, we dominated for a long time. We had the most county championships, and then it just went downhill.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was part of that downhill senior team. Sorry.
Yeah, way to go, man. Yeah. Loser.
Oh, well, it is what it is. All right. Well, it was good. We'll talk a little bit of basketball. You still got hey, what do you think about the new Broncos owner for $4 billion?
But one of the Walton family.
Come on today, huh?
The Walton family. And you know who's one of the minority owners? George Lucas's wife, a minority.
George Lucas, you mean Star Wars?
Star Wars, yeah. His wife is part of that ownership group.
And she's a minority as a woman, or she is a minority?
Yes, minority as a woman, and she is brown skinned.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. And
yeah.
The Waltons didn't buy it. One of the Walton
members. One of the Waltons bought it.
Yeah. That's funny.
So like $5 billion or whatever the amount, some crazy amount.
Yeah, close to $5 billion for Denver.
That probably was changed for this guy. If he's one of the, he's one of the Walton family.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that he bought it on payments. He didn't buy it.
Yeah, that's a lot of payments. He bought it on layaway.
He bought it on payments. You know what I mean? So
no. When we grew up, we had like Robert Halls and all of town, shops downtown. We put it on the layaway. That's what it's called, the layaway.
Now, the funniest thing I ever saw was I'm walking by a 99-cent store and he goes, "We have a layaway." I was like, how you gonna have a 99-cent store on layaway?
You give them 2 pennies a week.
Oh man, no, yeah. Let's get off of that. All right, well, we got a lot of things going on. Look, we're gonna be trying Restream in the next few weeks. So
yeah, we'll see how that works.
I get you ready for the season. So we can get ready, because Restream, we could do a lot more different things on it. Difference is that people can't call in, but we can have guests that we want on, and that's not like we have a bunch of people calling in. And Restream goes out everywhere, and it also, there's a lot more features that we could do with it. Zoom is awesome, don't get me wrong, I love it for business, but we're going to be practicing that. But I got to just warn Byron for his
like a couple weeks in advance.
Yeah, well, like a couple shows.
Well, that too.
Yeah, a couple weeks in advance. So, how's the weather over there? You said it's been raining. It rains
like crazy
every day here, every day, and it's bad. The flood claims, homeowners insurance is going through the roof. People are companies are just either going out of business or pulling out of the state.
They just, Jersey, they're doing the same thing. Pennsylvania, too much going on around here. So yeah.
Hey, how's it over there with COVID? I was talking to a client that she's like, "You're lucky you didn't come," because they had a couple of people in their office that COVID.
Yeah, it's red, and be careful around here. Wear masks. Most of the places, indoor. Around here. Besides that, they're not getting the flood. At the hospital like they did last time. So it's all good. Just be safe. That's it.
All right. Well, I got a big client I signed in Oklahoma, so I'm gonna go out see them. I'm gonna do it. I told her about you. She goes, "Oh yeah, come on out." So maybe I'll go get me a
Oklahoma City.
Yeah, Oklahoma City.
That's like 100 miles from Tulsa.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they ain't that close. The Indian Pike Parkway, straight shot.
I won't be getting a shirt.
Yeah, you don't want to go to Tulsa.
No,
Don't mention my name, whatever you do.
Mention your name or don't?
Do not.
Oh, great. See? What good is that for me?
Yeah, it's no good. Don't mention my name.
All right. So, hey, man, there's a lot of craziness going on with these shootings are bad, bro.
Yeah, like every other day now.
It's bad. I don't know if media makes it worse. Media makes it not worse. Let me go into the Sinise. Let me get here. Gary Sinise Foundation, please. Gary Sinise Foundation.org. Freedom and security are precious gifts that we as Americans should never take for granted. We must do all that we can to extend our hand in times of need to those who willingly sacrifice each day to provide that freedom and security. While we can never do enough to show the gratitude to our nation's defenders, we can always do a little bit more. Gary Sinise. First responders and military, please donate. GarySiniseFoundation.org. What do you think went wrong with the police in that shooting? Why did they, they're even admitting they felt like cowards. They weren't going in. Was they felt that way because they decided, or was that a strategic and now they're feeling bad? I mean,
I did, when like Columbine first happened, in our county, Monmouth County, we did a lot of that, the active shooter, drills a lot. And this was in 2000. We did it. This is 22 years ago that I actually did the training. And, we were trained then, you go directly to, the target. That's you got to neutralize the target. That's what we're trained. Not to, a hostage situation and active shooter are two totally different things. And, two totally different, situations. And I wasn't there. I don't know, what the commander told him or, told those guys, whatever, but, to have 19, police, whatever the amount of police officers stay in the hallway, or what these guys were doing, why this guy did what he did, it's not a good look for law enforcement.
Well, not only that, besides the look, I mean, obviously, but it's also got to be mentally, it's going to affect a few of those guys, man.
Yeah. It's sad to say, but they'll have a couple of.
They're going to have guilt. They're going to have guilt. They're going to have depression. They're going to be living that over. They're going to be what ifs. What I mean? Especially when you got children involved. You know what I mean?
Especially these guys live in the town. They live there. So, these people, the parents are going to have to see these guys and know that they stood outside the door, why this happened, to their children. And a lot of them will probably quit. I expect a lot of them are going to quit. We won't know, but they're going to quit, a lot of them.
this crazy world. Well, may God bless this world and help us get out of this craziness, man, because we got to do something. I mean, I don't understand.
We got to do better in this country. We're better than that.
Yeah, we got to do better. I figure something out with getting the guns, and then I think people have to have guns. I mean, you can't,
But you can't. AR-15 is a weapon.
That's different. I think you shouldn't have that. I'm just
I've shot them plenty of times, but just that people always hunting or home defense weapon. It's not a home defense. That bullet goes through walls, through concrete, metal. It's if you have one, you have one, but it's not. It's a weapon of war. That's what it is.
Well, the original concept of those weapons, right, for war, obviously, but the original concept of the Constitution for weapons was to prevent the government, to let us as citizens defend ourselves if we're a tyrant government try to take over, and we build a militia, we have access to our own guns. But these things get outdated over time, right? That the necessity to have that type of gun, like in 200 years, nothing's taken place that military's coming in and jumped into your house. You know what I mean? And I don't see the need to have an army type, military type gun.
No, there really is no reason. But that's some people's choice, and they're gonna hold on to that weapon, as tight as they can because they feel somebody's gonna take it. But it is what it is. But it's still bad and a shame that it constantly happens. In the U.S. This is the only place in the world that we have mass shootings like this all the time.
No, we have mass shootings and we have the most people incarcerated than
for a civilized country. But we talk about everybody else around the world.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, anyhow, let's next week Thursday we're gonna lighten this up a little bit here. The Jersey Boys Sports Talk. It was good to see a couple of NFC East fans. We're looking forward to the season coming up. I think some cool things are happening. I'm excited with the Giants this year. Just am. I really am. I'm excited every year, but I mean I'm excited this year. Maybe they figured it out. I don't know.
I hope so, because it's been pretty bad.
It's been bad way too long. So, so I want to be competitive. I want to get there. I think still it's a tough road. Teams are still getting better. But I just the one thing I was telling these gentlemen that I met the other day and see what your thoughts are. I just think that when the NFC East is good as a good conference, we're dangerous without a crazy winning record.
Right.
Like once we're in the playoffs, we're dangerous because if we're all good, they're all good, and we're beating each other up, right? And then by the time we get to the playoffs, I mean, we're a tough team. Like that, whoever is in there, right, is a tough team, right? But we got to get back there, right? Because then if we're all playing pretty good and we're beating each other up, it's easier to play against other guys, right? But we got to adjust. I think they got to adjust. They got to open it up. Dallas can't be the only one that can score that much in our conference.
Just remember one thing: in the East, we're the only one in all the NFL that won. Every team has won a Super Bowl and have won more than any other conference.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point, right? When you think about the years when San Francisco was winning, right? When San Francisco was winning, it was either the Giants, right? Dallas or San Francisco.
Or Washington.
Right? I mean, think about it. We had three teams from the NFC East winning or San Francisco, right? So, I mean, that's a long stretch for one conference.
It's a long time.
Yeah, but then it's also been a long time ago since we've done anything. So let's hope we pick it up. All right, my friend. God bless you and the family, and I hope everybody's doing well.
You.
I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to see you. Hopefully I get to see you soon, and stay safe. Okay, my brother?
All right, you too.
God bless.
All right.